Batman. Not often I get visitors down here. Most people know better than to interrupt me during practice. But you're not most people. How have you been? I heard about the Gotham situation last month. Looked impressive from what the news reported. You do good work there. What brings the detective to New York? This isn't social call, I'm guessing.
The work you do operates in similar space to mine, though our methods differ. You deal with criminals on personal level, while I focus on systematic corruption. I called because I need perspective from someone who understands obsessive individuals driven by violence and control. You've faced people like that. Vaas Montenegro has created that kind of problem, and I need insight into how he operates.
Vaas Montenegro. Pirate lord controlling island territories through fear and brutality. I've heard of him through underworld connections. Word is he's unpredictable and ruthless, kills people for entertainment rather than business. That makes him different from standard criminal. He doesn't follow codes or rules. He's just chaos with guns and ambition. What specifically is he threatening? And why does Batman need Hitman's perspective on how to handle him?
Vaas has taken control of a tropical island and holds hundreds of tourists hostage for ransom. But ransom is secondary motivation. He genuinely enjoys the violence and chaos. He's filming executions, broadcasting them globally. His goal is becoming famous through terror. Unlike standard criminals motivated by profit, Vaas wants legacy built on fear. He wants to be remembered as most dangerous and unpredictable. That psychology is what makes him vulnerable, but also incredibly dangerous.
A killer who wants fame and legacy through violence. That's someone operating purely on ego and adrenaline, not reason or profit. Those are hardest people to predict because they're not logical. You can't negotiate with ego, can't threaten someone who doesn't value his own life. But there's always weakness in that kind of personality. Pride and obsession create blind spots. Vaas probably thinks he's invincible on his island, surrounded by loyal followers. That overconfidence is exploitable.
His overconfidence comes from success. He's defeated every challenge on the island. Military strikes failed. Police raids failed. Mercenaries he hired turned on each other. Every attempt to stop him reinforced his belief that he's unstoppable. I'm not interested in direct confrontation. We'd lose people to his home field advantage. Instead, I'm developing psychological operations that exploits his need for validation and recognition. We make him doubt his own invincibility.
Psychological operation against someone driven by ego. That can work, but it's delicate. You attack his pride wrong way, he becomes more violent. You have to make him question himself from inside, not from outside. How do you plan to introduce doubt into mind of someone surrounded by followers who constantly reinforce his superiority? Vaas controls entire island. He controls media, he controls narrative. Breaking that narrative requires reaching him personally.
Personal reach is the key. I've identified someone close to Vaas, a lieutenant who started questioning orders. He's seen too much violence, seen people die for Vaas's entertainment. This lieutenant is positioned to plant seeds of doubt directly. Small things at first. Suggestions that tourists might escape, hints that followers are less loyal than Vaas thinks, implications that his empire is less stable than it appears. Constant small messages that accumulate over time.
Using inside man to slowly erode confidence. That's solid approach. But Vaas likely kills people he suspects of disloyalty. The lieutenant you're counting on could be eliminated if Vaas senses betrayal. How do you protect Asset while he's operating inside enemy territory? One mistake and you've sacrificed someone without accomplishing anything. You need exit strategy for that lieutenant and contingency if Vaas realizes what's happening before psychological operation takes effect.
Let's get Robin's input.
Vaas thinks he's clever and unpredictable, but he actually follows patterns. He kills when threatened, kills for entertainment, kills to prove dominance. His violence has rhythm because he's addicted to the adrenaline rush. If we can disrupt that rhythm, make situations unpredictable to him, instead of him being unpredictable, we break his confidence. Introduce variables he can't control or predict. Make him feel like victim instead of apex predator. That psychological reversal shatters people like Vaas.
The kid understands psychological predators better than most, reversing power dynamics so Vaas feels vulnerable instead of dominant. That's devastating to narcissistic personality. But creating that feeling requires carefully orchestrated events that appear random to him but are actually controlled. One wrong move and he suspects orchestration. You'd need someone on ground executing perfectly coordinated actions at exact timing. That's operational difficulty beyond normal scope.
Coordination is handled. I have operatives positioned across the island ready to execute precise timing. When Lieutenant plants seeds of doubt, we simultaneously create situations where Vaas's control appears to slip. Followers question orders. Prisoners escape briefly before being recaptured. Supply shipments go missing temporarily. Nothing catastrophic, just enough to suggest his operation isn't as perfect as he believes. Each incident isolated, but accumulated, they create narrative of deteriorating empire.
Accumulated small failures convincing powerful person that control is slipping. If done correctly, paranoia follows. Vaas starts suspecting followers of disloyalty. He begins killing loyal people out of fear. His organization fractures from internal conflict rather than external assault. By the time you actually intervene militarily, his forces are already weakened by internal suspicion and violence. That's elegant approach. But what happens when he realizes what's happened? Cornered animal is dangerous.
Master Bruce, Mr. Wick, I must express concern about this operation's conclusion phase. Once Vaas realizes he's been psychologically manipulated, he may execute hostages en masse before surrendering or fleeing. Narcissistic personalities facing humiliation often respond with maximum destruction. Have you calculated acceptable casualties? Because this plan potentially sacrifices innocent lives to break Vaas's confidence. The moral weight of that decision should not be taken lightly.
Alfred raises necessary concern. That's why we have final phase prepared. Once psychological operation reaches critical point, we extract all hostages simultaneously using coordinated assault. Vaas's fractured forces won't be able to mount effective defense. We hit multiple locations at once while his organization is internal conflict. Lieutenant provides location intelligence from inside. Extraction happens before Vaas realizes what's occurring. Then we contain him before he can retaliate. It's dangerous but calculated.
Psychological breakdown combined with military extraction. That's two-phase operation with specific timing windows. I can respect the planning. You're not trying to win against Vaas through raw power. You're dismantling him internally while maintaining operational security. Takes patience and discipline. I'll help however I can. Whether coordinating timing or ensuring extraction security, I can provide assets. This kind of targeted operation against specific threat is what I do. Let's end Vaas's reign on that island.